No, we just turned it on.
Fire.
Where everybody go, John?
I don't know. It's
Where's
just
you?
me.
It's you?
It's just me.
Oh,
You
What?
guys get gifted by me.
wow. I was gonna respond to the citizens, but, okay, go ahead, Mr. Pence.
Well, they'll be watching the video.
He's one of those.
You gotta take your time. He's on the church. You know, yeah, that- everybody in?
I haven't.
Is everybody here? Okay.
Ready to go.
Not Crystal. I'm having, I think
Yeah, I think we're good. One more? I'd like to call the order of the Greater Johnstown School Board meeting. Okay, I need approval of the minutes on the regular board meeting on August 1st, 2023. Motion. Motion by Michael, second by Randy. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. Now I need the approvals of the minute of the second special board meeting on August 23rd, 2023.
Motion.
A motion by Randy and second by Tom. Roll call?
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Davy,
Yes.
Mr. McMillan,
Yes.
Mr. McKessick, Mrs. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Pence,
Yes.
Mr. Ronsberg.
Yes.
Ms. Foggy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The president's report. Oh, that's a tough one, man. John, I saw all your videos and I tell you what, I don't think there was more people in this board and administrations were more offended with what happened. I mean, what we do, let's put it in perspective here. We hired security. We have metal detectors. We have behavior specialists. We have guidance counselors. We have psychologists. We have people meeting with parents and kids. Oh, I was thinking, what else, what are we missing here? We have administrative people who are helping these kids. I don't know one child that is having a problem that can't go to someone in our district to get help. Now, the only problem is, why? I think the one thing that citizens said, why is this happening outside our district? You can go to outside our community. You can go to up to Richmond. You can go to the West End. You can go to Nanny Grove. You can go anywhere you want. There's fights. There's hate in a lot of places. And I don't understand why or for it come. But I tell you what, I don't know a board or any administrative person here is not taking this serious. If I could sit here and tell you that so-and-so is going to have a fight next Tuesday in the cafeteria, I'll guarantee you it will be broken up. You won't be there. We have a code of conduct. We people. Like John, you were saying, how many suspensions? How many this? We can control what you do after. But with state laws, what we have to go by, we don't know what everyone's going to do. And that's why you say, answer questions. What are the questions of that? You can become a very rich man if you can sit up here and tell me, if you do this, this, and this, there won't be one fight. There won't be one kid not going to school. Your attendance will be up. Now, you saw a presentation today with the mental health. You see what we're trying to do. We are trying to help every student in our school. In our board, go back to where my sports, when I coached, I treat everyone's kid as if they're mine. The only thing is, I can't tell you when they're gonna misbehave. And I told Mike, and this was, and Jim, we're doing a lot in our power. But I think it's just like when that football player died twice on the football field and he got brought back to life. This football team went on his knees. This football team went on their knees. You saw ESPN, Fox News, all the sports narratives. They all said, let's pray. So I'm going to put this out to our community. If at least once a week, if you can have a moment of silence for our students. It's everything's in our power. Let's ask for another power to help us. That's all I got to say. Rest in peace. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Pence. Just a couple comments for the hearing of citizens. Mrs. Baracco was asking about the Garfield building and, you know, what's going on. If I just bring everybody back to working memory, 3 years ago, we worked with Gatesburg redevelopment, and they had asked if we would enter an agreement with them where they would apply for federal dollars to help with the refurbishment of the Garfield School in a public-private partnership, which would mean that if they would be able to receive those federal dollars to rehab the Garfield School, they would use the former Garfield School that contained the offices and classrooms and turn those into, I think, 53 or 56 apartments for seniors. And then the partnership, we would be able to continue to use the gyms, the field, and the maintenance garage. And so they are still working through their application process to receive those federal dollars. And so since we entered that agreement with them, we have to give them the opportunities until they've exhausted the opportunities that we agreed in a partnership with them for those funds. They have not been successful through 2 rounds. They are applying for a 3rd round. And then they would take over, Gatesburg would take over and purchase the Garfield building from the school district and make those changes that I just spoke of. I think Joanna had great ideas about, you know, some ideas for Garfield, but until we are finished with this agreement with this current organization, we can't move forward because we made it a commitment to them. As far as what's happening in the city with the Central Park and what the city's doing, I can't respond to that. I'm not in charge of the city. The mayor doesn't come and tell me how to run the school district and what to do with my funding. He doesn't come and tell the school board how to run the school district. So the city does what the city does. And so with that $17 million or whatever money she quoted, you know, that's up to them. So, but it was nice to hear some ideas instead of just criticism about what's going on. I know Miss Andrews was here to talk about her son's situation. I know Robin kind of piggybacked on that, talking about school violence. Every student, every time. And I am here to tell you that if I could tell you everything that I know about every one of these situations, I would. But I can't, because these are kids, and there's a whole lot of information that we have as the school district that you don't have. And I know people say, well, ask the kids, they know everything. They don't. They know a little bit, and then they make up the rest because they're kids, and that's what kids do. Adults do the same thing. We want to have some status. We want to say, well, I know this, or I have this information. So there's a whole lot of information that we know as school district officials in working with our community in regard to how we respond to these fights. And justice is fair, but it's not equal. And as a school district, we are going to take each situation on a case-by-case basis and make the final determination of what is best for that particular student. And that's what we're good at. We don't paint a brush stroke and say, if you do this, then this is going to happen to you each and every time. Like I said, justice is fair, but it's not always equal because all of our students have different circumstances. All of our students live in the city and have circumstances outside of the school district. You talked about, Mr. DiBartoli, you talked about the Wood Street fights. I can't control what our children are up to on the weekends and the evenings, nor can any of the members of this board, our teachers, or our administration. What we do know is that we know our kids, and we know their background, and we know their situations and what they're currently dealing with. So when people talk about, well, the same thing needs to happen to every child, we agree with that, but we also agree that we have to take every student's individual circumstance into our conversation to make the best decision for a child. We have some students that are intellectually disabled and they have a very low IQ and they're not able to make rational, sound decisions. Should they be held to the same level of accountability as the student who has a high IQ? I mean, these are the decisions that we have to make, and we just kind of grapple with every time we have a situation where students are involved in physical altercations in our school. To Mr. Pence's point, we have a dysregulated community. And what I mean by that is that our parents are acting this same way out in the community. And so they're modeling this type of resolution to conflict, and they're encouraging at times their children to fight. They're encouraging their children to embrace violence as the means to an end. And we are up against parents often who don't agree with the way we want to handle things. They believe that the gloves come off. We have parents that drive their children to another child's residence to fight. I can't control that. And then when the fight occurs in school, because it keeps going after the parents are involved in the community with it, and it comes into school and it keeps going, that's what we have to respond to. So I appreciate the fact that everyone is concerned about school violence. I need the parents to be as concerned about school violence. I need them to be interested in what their children are doing when they're done with us. Because that Wood Street fight, that didn't occur during school hours. Kids weren't absent from school that day to get into a fight. They're doing it on the parents' watch. They're not engaging in these behaviors on Wood Street on our watch. And so until our community embraces that this is a community situation, we're going to just respond each and every time as we have done, and we're going to respond to the students. We have an addendum added to the agenda tonight with 3 stipulated expulsions on it for a grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12 student. That's our response. And we'll continue to do things in that way. But at the end of the day, there's a whole lot of information that I can't share and I won't share. I'm bound to confidentiality. And oftentimes parents don't share all the information either. So I just want to make sure that we're all clear on that, just to respond to some of the concerns that we have. So, John, you talked about a town hall. We tried that once.
I know it did.
A whole lot of people coming and complaining with not a lot of solutions. And the parents that should have been at the town hall, they weren't there. They weren't there. The kids weren't there. The parents, open house. We're going to have open house tomorrow night at Johnstown Middle School. We are going to see the parents who have great kids. They're going to come to open house. They're going to come to the ribbon cutting because they love us. They like our school. Their kids are successful. The parents that need to be a part of our school community, they're not. And we will continue to open our doors and invite our parents in because we're partners in their child's education. We believe that wholeheartedly, and with them, it's much more easier. Our jobs are much more easier when we have parent support and buy-in. It's much more difficult when the parents are working against us. And in many of the cases that we're facing, the parents aren't working with us. And so, that's kind of where we are right now as a school district. We really are a reflection of our city. And, you can turn on your scanner any night and you can hear what's going on in our city. And those are the houses where our children are being raised. And that's what they're dealing with every night that they leave us and on the weekends. So it's a tough battle, but we are doing our part in responding appropriately to the students, and we are treating them with compassion. We are treating them with kindness. We are treating them with care, and we are holding them accountable. Those 4 things can happen simultaneously, because we know we're not doing any justice to not hold children accountable. Because when they leave us, the streets of Johnstown isn't caring about what their background is or what their family situation is. And they'll get sucked up very quickly. So that concludes my verbal report about the hearing of citizens. And now Mr. Hoffman is going to help me
Can I comment
out.
real quick?
Oh, please.
Dr. Curie well said.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have to say.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
How many kids are in the east side and west side and high school?
We have about 1,100 students at the elementary school. And of course, I say about because we have a transient population, so students come and go every day. These are never exact numbers. We have about 650 students at the middle school, and we have about 950 students at the high school.
Don't you think them schools are overcrowded? Why do we got 1,100 kids at the east side school? But we have 2 elementary schools.
No, Mr. McKessick, we go over this time and time again. We do not have 2 elementary schools. So.
You closed the one down, so you have 550 kids. If you got 1,100, that means you got 550 kids from the east side and 550 from the west side.
Mr. Pence, I'd like to continue with my report. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. So I just wanted to take some time to show everybody the changes that we have made in our schools. And I just walked around our buildings. I asked some of our administration to share some photos with me, because at the end of the day, the ESSER dollars that we received, I mean, as an example, we paid $10 million for an HVAC system at the high school, right? That changed our heating, our air conditioning, our ventilation. Well, I can't take a picture of that, right? I could take a picture of the unit, but it really doesn't show the benefit of the changes and all of the work that you've done as a board to make some changes for our students. So the first slide here is we redesigned, with the help of Mr. Kashotti, we redesigned the high school cafeteria to make it a more collegiate type setting, a friendlier setting where students were no longer seated in elementary type long tables. And so I just have a couple pictures of what this cafe setting looks like for our students. So we have smaller tables, we have high top tables, and go ahead, Mr. Hoffman. And then we have these small 4 seats that are much like you would sit at a fast food restaurant, like a Burger King or a McDonald's. So our friend groups at the high school can sit together. Notice that all of our tabletops have our Trojan emblem on and have our pride matrix on it. And so then you move forward to, go ahead, Mr. Hoffman, that'll move me along. Then you move to the Johnstown Middle School. You'll see this firsthand tomorrow night at the ribbon cutting. This is the shield that we put around the playground. Mr. Rivlett did a fantastic job. Mr. Kordick. Mr. Rivlett did point out today that, and I saw this, that the fencing guard is now inside the fence instead of outside the fence. He thought that was really smart, and I did too, and I was glad he caught that. So we have that all around the playground so that our students aren't so visible to the public, right? And we want to make sure that our teachers and our students are kept safe. So we have this shield up. Go ahead, Mr. Hoffman. The Johnstown Middle School has two more basketball courts, two full basketball courts that have been installed for our students to use. And then these are the 4 pavilions for the outdoor classroom. You remember earlier in the meeting, I had 3 of the teachers in the middle school receive the Trojan Pride Award because they were utilizing this space and teaching a lesson for our students to learn how to get along together. That is a hydroponic system that was placed in a 3rd grade classroom at Johnstown Elementary School. So as we continue to provide hands-on science to our students, this is one way, Mr. Kozak at the elementary school. That is a hydroponic garden that has an ultraviolet light. He and his students will actually grow lettuce in that hydroponic garden. And so we're starting to expose our children to new ecological advancements in farming and foods. And our students maybe will invite us up for a salad once, they harvest the lettuce and we can put together a little salad bar. So it's just getting our children exposed to some hands-on learning because we know oftentimes kids learn better by doing than just reading about it. We talked about the metal detectors. So these are 2 of the metal detectors that you recently approved that are state-of-the-art, used in places like Steeler Games, Walt Disney World. We have those at our elementary schools and our high school. There's little disruption to student arrival. They're highly sensitive. They do not pick up any non-ferrous metals. They are very sensitive. Mr. Dady and I can control these from our phones. And at a moment's notice, we can check in and see what is happening at any of our schools or any of our school events, like a football game, with our metal detectors. They're incredibly lightweight. They have a handle on the other side. I can pick one up myself and just move it around, which is really nice for our maintenance guys and our security folks like Jimmy there to move them and utilize them, throughout our school district. Those are the cafeteria tables at Johnstown Elementary School. Just like Mr. Kashotti redesigned the high school cafeteria, Mr. Hoffman redesigned the elementary cafeteria. So we have the Pride Matrix, we have the Trojan Head, and you're seeing this is a theme of school-wide positive behavior supports systems that we embrace throughout the district, including at our Park Avenue School as well. If you remember the company that refurbished the outdoor area at Johnstown Middle School, the middle playground equipment was at Johnstown Middle School because you remember it was once Eastside Elementary School. Well, that is clearly playground equipment for an elementary age child, not a middle school age child. So they actually removed this equipment from the Johnstown Middle School and they placed it at Johnstown Elementary School. So we were able to move it, and it looks like it's always been there. I mean, it just fit perfectly in that little space. And I know the elementary folks said the kids are just so happy to have more playground equipment. So this is really, really smart of us. We're not spending a lot of money. We're taking some of our equipment and we're repurposeful of it. We're repurposing it. And so that helps us save some dollars. These are the new desks and classroom libraries that we have in our 1st and 3rd grade. Well, these are 1st grade classrooms at Johnstown Elementary. So you see the new desks, the new chairs, the foursome there. And then behind, we have a little library for students to enjoy a book. So we have 2 recliners. We have some flexible seating. So every 1st grade classroom has their own little reading area for students to just get comfortable and read a book. We're promoting literacy and the gift of reading for our students. And then those are the desks and chairs for the third grade classrooms that we just added. And you can see this was in Mrs. Lecky's classroom. She purchased, because that's what our teachers do. She purchased with her own money. You see those 4 doors, compartments. She bought one of those for every group, every cooperative learning group, so that the students could put their belongings in there and have a space to keep their things. So we appreciate, the ingenuity of our teachers. They're pretty innovative, and they often will make these purchases on their own. We received a new flagpole. We purchased a new flagpole at Johnstown Elementary School. The flagpole that was there, we are guessing it's about 40 years old, maybe 50 years old. So all of the clips to hold the flag and to raise it and lower it, those were all shot. And so they put our maintenance crew and the company, they put in a new flagpole. Hopefully, we're thinking it'll last a few more years. But now we can be respectful to the flag, and our students can learn the value. We can lower the flag when we have to be respectful to a situation in our community as well. The library at Johnstown Elementary School, there was a lot of concern that as the library at the elementary school was being decreased. Remember last year, we added 2 additional classrooms to the library. One of the things that Mr. Hoffman and Mrs. McKessick worked on we had access to an interior designer and decorator. They were able to redesign the elementary library. So by getting new furniture, new tables for the students, we have sit-down chairs and sit-down areas, and then behind that we actually have tabletops where the students can stand and they can work on a Chromebook, and then in front of that, where all the colored pillows are of the rainbow, that's flexible seating, and then we have the stacks on that side, and then around the corner of that area we have stacks for all of our books. So you can see the library, even though we took part of the floor of the square footage away for 2 additional classrooms, you would not, if you walked in there, think, oh, this is not a good library for kids. They still have 4 specific areas to work with children, a carpet to sit on for reading time, some time to work in small groups, a place to work on their Chromebooks, and then some flexible seating areas where they can check out a book and check out and then take it home with them, to just continue to promote reading as being one of our initiatives of most importance at our elementary school. And then I think the next one is another view of the library, or that's it. Okay, so I just wanted to bring these slides to you so you could see what we are doing and how we are increasing opportunities for our students in all of our schools. We're putting our ESSER dollars to good use and making sure that we are creating student-friendly environments, and that the students are really benefiting from these changes that the board has approved along the way. Thank you, Mr. Hoffman.
You're welcome.
Any questions on what we've done or the direction we've gone and with the hearing of citizens? No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Pence. Appreciate the time.
Pretty good. When you have stuff like that, it's just like these, all these college campuses now, when they're trying to get the athletes, they're trying to build these big wellness to join in.
Mhm.
And now, like here, when you walk into a library like that, it's like, wow. Or you're sitting down in the cafeteria, and you're like, wow. Very good.
The students were so excited the first day of school. They were amazed with the changes. The high school kids that I talked to, they were just like, this is so cool. This looks so nice. And then, what we did is we repurposed the high school tables and the elementary tables to Johnstown Middle School. So they got a facelift. They didn't get reconstructive surgery, but they got a little facelift.
Some Botox.
And, yeah, they got a little Botox. So the Johnstown Middle School got newer tables and tables that are much nicer for the middle school students, so.
Good.
Thanks.
Board Secretary, Debbie?
The following executive sessions were held September the 1st from 2 o'clock to 3:35, safety, security matters, and an Act 93 employee. Prior to this meeting, from 4:20 to 5 p.m., personnel matters regarding candidates to the positions listed on the agenda, and community and schools employees, safety, security matters, and student matters. And during the meeting from 6:05 to 6:25, safety and security matters. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Excuse me. Ron?
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe Dr. Arcario answered most of the comments for hearing citizens. The only thing I would comment on is that, they are correct in what the citizens said in some of the pieces of, I did ask Mr. DiPatoli to get a video, send it to us so we have it. Safe to say we did have all of those videos. We've collected that information, but I meant it when I said it and I appreciate it. We want those videos because we want every angle, and if somebody's taking a video, we want to know who it was, why they were taking the video. Individuals who are pre-planning and taking videos are going to be in just as much trouble as individuals who actually start the fight. So again, I do honestly mean it when I say I appreciate getting those videos. We really do. And what Ms. Komet said, about code language and trying to meet up and stuff. I mean, she's right. That's where I'm actually saying they're correct. Where no matter what happens, it's hard for these administrators to preempt the fight because they're just finding ways to be able to meet, to set it up and to do it. So it's just an issue and a battle that I know you guys are dealing with, but every security measure you possibly have taken, your teachers are getting training, you're bringing in mental health services. So again, this board's doing everything that we're seeing globally, trying to take care of some of these behavioral issues. You guys are, again, you're probably leading the pack as it relates to security services and the level and the finances that you put into it for sure. But I don't want to discount what they were saying because it's true in that capacity. But that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. I would like to have approved the treasury report for the months ending July 2023. Need a motion?
So moved.
Edward, second by Kimberly. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. We go to reports of the resolution standing committee. Michael on the budget.
BF 623 to BF 1123.
I need a motion. By Kimberly and a second by Edward. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Randy for buildings and operations.
BO, I'll say it. BO 223.
This is for some concrete work at the elementary school. We did receive 3 quotes from 3 local companies. Our recommendation is Moyer Concrete. And this would, the Moyer Concrete be awarded the quote for concrete work at Johnstown Elementary School at a cost of $6,450 for the playground area and 15 2-foot by 2-foot patchwork areas at a cost of $250 each.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second
Second.
by Kimberly. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
BO 323 and BO 423.
Motion by Paul, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Edward for cafeteria.
C3.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second.
Second.
Kimberly. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
C4 that,
Sandwich.
This is for walk-in cooler evaporator at the elementary school. We did receive 3 quotes, and our recommendation is Mervac Plumbing and Heating. So Mervac Plumbing and Heating be awarded the quote for the walk-in cooler evaporator and condenser repairs at the Johnstown Elementary School at a cost not to exceed $11,150.
Motion
Motion, second.
Michael, second. Randy, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Education Committee, Michael?
E 1223 to E 3223.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Kimberly, second by Edward. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Kimberly, for personnel negotiations?
There's a.
We have a deadline.
Education.
Yeah. So, Michael, you gotta read each one.
E 3323, of the stipulation and agreement between the Greater Johnstown School District and a grade 10 student number 265042, be approved.
Motion, Edward, second.
Second.
By Kimberly, any questions? Vote passed.
E 423, that the stipulation and agreement between the Greater Johnstown School District and a grade 11 student number 251012, be approved.
Motion,
So moved.
by Edward,
Second.
second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
E 3523, that the stipulation and agreement between the Greater Johnstown School District and a grade 12 student number 247051, be approved.
Motion,
So moved.
Mike,
Second.
Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
E 3623, that the pre-K count collaborative partnership agreement between the district and Cambria County Child Development Corporation, effective the 2023-2024 school year, be approved. See attachment E20.
Motion,
Motion.
by Thomas,
Second.
second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Kimberly, for personnel?
PN 53, 54, and 55, 23.
Motion,
So moved.
Edward, second.
Second.
Michael, any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
And 56, 23, that Jennifer Ambrose be appointed to the position of sixth grade teacher at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed at step 10.
Motion,
Motion.
Tom.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 57, 23, that Aaron Marshall be appointed to the position of guidance counselor at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion,
So moved.
by Michael, second.
Second.
Edward, any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 58, 23, that Travis Long be appointed to the position of culinary instructor at Johnstown High School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion,
So moved.
Second.
Edward, second. Michael, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
PN 59, 23, that Drew Sivis be appointed to the long-term sub position of STEM endorsement teacher at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion,
Motion.
by
Second.
Michael, second by Edward. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 60, 23, that Ethan Schaefer be appointed to the position of 2023-2024 floating substitute teacher at Johnstown Elementary School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion,
So moved.
by Edward, second.
Second.
Michael, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 61, 62, and 63, 23.
Motion,
So moved.
by Edward, second.
Second.
By Randy, any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 64, 23, that Ryan Dorn be appointed to the supplemental position of Johnstown High School boys varsity basketball head coach for a 3-year term with all contingencies as listed.
Motion,
Motion.
Tom, second. By Michael, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
In PN 65, 23, that individuals appointed to the following supplemental positions with all contingencies as listed. Cheerleading, cheerleading advisor Jolie Carey.
Go ahead.
Just keep going. Okay. The soccer is Hannah Sembauer. Basketball A is Johnstown High Boys Varsity is Marcus Martin. Junior High Boys Head Coach Marcus Howling. C, Junior High Boys Assistant Coach Marcus Tullis.
D, Johnstown High School Girls Assistant Coach Jill Nash. And E, Junior High Girls Head Coach Emil Brett. And F were not addressed.
Motion?
Oh, those three of us.
We got rest. That's
You
all.
have to
this
bring
is.
in Marcus to coach
So rest-
basketball.
That's all. it is.
Wrestling, Johnstown High, Johnstown Varsity, Ted Tysinger Senior. B, Assistant Coach Ted Tysinger Jr. And C, Assistant Coach Dennis Wallace. And the weight room A is D, A and B are both Dion Moore.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second
Second.
by Randy. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed, motion passed.
PN 6623 that individuals be appointed to the following supplemental positions with all contingencies as listed for the musical organizations. A is Eric Fowl, B is Andrew Hall, C is Eric Fowl, D is Tanya Russell, E is Samantha Dietz, F is Tori Sterner, and G is Jolie Roach.
Motion
So moved.
by Edward, second by Tom. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed, motion passed.
PN 6723 that Chiron Diggs be appointed to the position of heavy-duty cleaner with all contingencies as listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second by Edward. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 686923
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second by Randy. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed.
PN 7023 that Dion Moore be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown High School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Randy, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 7123 that Maya Hess be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown Elementary School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion by Thomas, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 7223 that Amada Lowe be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown High School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion by Edward, second
Second.
by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 7323 that Brittany Hartcomb be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown Elementary School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion
So moved.
by Edward, second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 7423 that Denise Rose be appointed to the position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown Middle School with all contingencies as listed.
Motion
Motion.
by Randy, second
Second.
by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 75, 76, and 7723.
Motion by Edward, second by
Second.
Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, PN 7823 that Rosalind Brandon be appointed to the position of case manager for teen parenting with all contingencies as listed at a prorated salary of $35,000 with 2 weeks of vacation.
Motion
Motion.
by Michael, second
Second.
by Randy. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 7923 that the resignation of Stephanie Zuko Maslow from the position of teacher aide, life skills, speech at Johnstown Elementary School effective at the end of the workday on September 15, 2023 be accepted and the position be eliminated.
Motion
So moved.
by Edward,
Second.
second by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed.
PN 8023 that the support staff position of paraprofessional, special education, regular education, personal care assistant at Johnstown Elementary School be created and the vacancy be posted / advertised.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
by Michael. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Athletics, AS 823 to AS 1523. Motion
So moved.
by Edward, second by Randy. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed. Motion for adjournment?
Motion by everybody.
Second by everybody.
Feel better, man.